All right, Chris, thank you. And a star cheerleader featured in Netflix's Cheer is now being sued for sexual misconduct. Jerry Harris was a member of the Navarro College cheer team in Corsicana. A lawsuit filed in Tarrant County Court accuses Harris of having inappropriate sexual contact with two young teenagers he met through cheer. Parents of the two teens say Harris sent inappropriate messages and asked the teens for sex. The lawsuit also accuses several cheer companies of negligence, and one of those companies, Cheer Athletics, owns several gyms right here in North Texas. In a statement, the company says it hasn't seen or been able to review that lawsuit. They add that Harris has never worked for them in any capacity and that the alleged victims are not members of Cheer Athletics. The company says, "We were first made aware of the allegations against Mr. Harris in mid-May 2020. We immediately reported the allegations to the proper authorities, including multiple police departments, Texas Child Protective Services, and the USASF."